Welcome to the show. It starts with the young man barman arriving at a restaurant he doesn't like. Suddenly, a strange man approaches them and greets barman warmly. He calls his daughter and tells her that he is with her fiancé right now, and he greets her. Barman finds himself in a very embarrassing situation because he can't tell the girl he's with that she's actually engaged. He keeps praying that this doesn't escalate. At the same time, two young women arrive at the house, and his wife Alina tells him to wait for her. He tells her that the situation is very nice because of the occasion and their relationship. She is excited because she thinks he brought a new car, but is shocked to find it's a dishwasher. She stays quiet. When he searches for his money, it's gone. She admits spending it on a dress she liked. She then compares him to her friend Benji's, who travels with his wife. She asks him. She tells us that she spent all her money on a dress that she liked and wanted to buy, and she keeps comparing it to her friend's dress. He always takes his wife to Europe and travels worldwide. Once back, she asks him to take out the trash. Arman, his closest friend, calls, saying he's busy and will call later. Tony asks Alina for food because he's starving. After taking the trash out, Arman calls again. Tony repeats he's busy. Alina refuses to cook, so he goes out. He finds Arman hiding and takes him along, saying he can't go to his door because Alina is there. When she refuses, he takes out the trash and decides to go out since he can't find anything else to do. He finds Arman hiding on the ground and takes him with him, telling him that he can't go to his door because Alina is there. Arman takes a taxi to a cafe. The driver, a con artist, raises the fare. Tony advises Arman to settle down, suggesting a routine is better. Arman calls Alina, who hangs up. They agree, and Arman shares his fears with Tony, who advises him to settle down. Arman realizes a routine is better. He calls Alina, but she hangs up on him. He tells the driver he rejected commitment, naming his car Swallow. Suddenly, the car breaks down and they see a pink car. The owner asks for help. Suddenly, the car breaks down in the middle of the road and they notice a beautiful pink car parked on the side. The owner of the car asks them to help her. They refuse help, stopped by police, lose car, seek ride. Then they get stopped by a police checkpoint, and when the officer finds out that the car's registration is expired, he orders him to pull over to the side and takes the car from him. The three of them stand in the street trying to find another car to take them. By coincidence, the same pink car that they refused to help earlier shows up, and the girl has to ride with them because she feels sorry for them. Tony and Arman are upset with their lives, sharing worries, and feeling overwhelmed by problems. It's a huge disaster, and even the driver shares the same opinion about women. The girl hears everything, and Sophia starts convincing them she can solve their problems. When they refuse, she takes them to a world with only women. She parks in front of a place and they find the cafe filled with women, no other men. The women welcome them warmly, offering drinks. The staff tells them everything is free. One guy checks his phone and finds no male contacts. They've disappeared. He laughs and asks for the match channel. The staff explains there are only 3 men in the world, not enough for a football team. They ask about the men's restroom, and the woman apologizes, saying no provisions are made for men. They run outside, shocked to see only women. One mentions even the police are women, and men have vanished. Sophia arrives, saying she's helping them spend a night without disturbances from wives or girlfriends. He laughs and asks for the channel with the match. The staff explains there are only 3 men in the world, not enough for a men's football team. When they inquire about the men's restroom, the woman apologizes, saying no man comes in, so there are no provisions for them. They step outside, shocked, and see only women. One mentions even the police are all women, and men have vanished. Sophia arrives, saying she's helping them enjoy a night without disturbances from wives or friends. In return, they can't take pictures. Sophia gives them the car, saying there's no evidence of this world, and they should enjoy the day. Torn worries about his wife's reaction, fearing none of them can take pictures. Sophia gives them the car, saying there's no evidence of this world and they should enjoy the day. Torn worries about being late. Sophia explains that in the real world, he'll only miss a second because a day here is just a moment there, and no one will notice. Arman advises them to make the most of their time as this opportunity won't come again. They drive around town, finding women welcoming them. Tima wants to hold a big exhibition, while Torn insists on going home. A police officer stops them, and they are shocked when the driver is treated nicely. They arrive at a club filled with women and have a great time. Arman is surprised to see a girl he knows from the real world. He takes all the time to do something that will never happen again. They drive around the whole town and they find that the women are welcoming them all the time. Tima mentions that he wants to hold a big exhibition here, while Torn insists on going to his home address, saying he needs to check in. Suddenly, they are stopped by a police officer, and the driver is shocked when he gets out and finds her treating him very nicely. Eventually, they arrive at a large club filled with women only, and they have a great time with them. Arman is surprised when he sees a girl he knows from the real world, and she seems completely unaware of him and even refuses to interact with him. It's real, and it's in the world. She doesn't even know, and she refuses to deal with him. He feels annoyed, and his arrogance makes him determined to get closer to her because no girl has ever rejected him before. When he asks her why, she tells him, because he's a conceited young man who loves himself too much, and she doesn't prefer that type of guy. And Torn is happy about the prank he pulled on his friend. He can wake up a little and dance for a long time and drink large quantities of it until he becomes an employee. Tima hears of a woman outside. It's Officer Olga, so he hides. He pretends ignorance and tells his friends. Torn is bored, so Arman takes him home, then returns to enjoy the day. He pretends not to know, and then goes back to sit with his friends and tells them what happened to him. Torn feels really bored and wants to go home, so Arman decides to take him home and then go back to enjoy the rest of the day and not miss out on the opportunity. Suddenly, they find the bill is really high, and the staff member explains to them that they are eating and drinking for free, but they have to pay for everything. The women that are around, Arman realizes they must wait 24 hours to escape. They count down, shocked to find her men everywhere, and quickly run outside. Sophia explains this is because they must not refuse any request from the women. If they do, they'll be trapped in a world of only men, unable to escape. She warns them this is their last chance, with no room for mistakes. If they do that, they'll be trapped in a world filled only with men and won't be able to get out again. And she tells them before she leaves that this is their last chance and there's no room for mistakes. They try to gather the amount to pay. Tima offers a ride in the car, and he stays with her until morning. Torn arrives home. She offers to make him breakfast and treats him nicely. He can't refuse and stays with her until the morning. At that time, Torn arrives home, and she tells him that she's going to make him any breakfast he wants, and she treats him really nicely. She organizes everything and offers to invite his friend Arman for dinner. She calls Arman to bring spices. He agrees and helps an elderly woman with her bags. He brings some spices on his way. Of course, he has to agree, and on his way, he encounters an elderly woman who asks him to help her carry the bags she has, and he also fulfills her request. Tima feels anxious. Arman assists an elderly woman. He feels that all the women around him are turning into men, and he gets very nervous when he thinks about what is possible. Arman arrives with the elderly woman at her house, makes her some tea to drink, washes the clothes, and cleans the house as well. And Torn spends a nice time at home for the first time, having breakfast. She does everything she can to make him comfortable and happy. The phone cuts off on him and she asks him to go out together for a bit. Torn agrees because he remembers he must fulfill all her requests. The phone hangs up on him because that's not allowed, and she asks him to go out together for a bit since they rarely go out together. Torn agrees because he remembers that he has to fulfill all the requests made of him and not refuse anything, of course. Arman seizes the opportunity and leaves the house. An elderly woman sleeps. At the park, a man meets Diana drawing. She asks for help. A very beautiful girl is sitting in the street drawing, and she asks him to help her carry her art supplies because they're heavy. He is shocked when he discovers that she is the same employee who used to work at the club at night. She introduces herself as Diana and tells him that she loves painting. Tima sees Olga but continues. A police car asks him to pull over. They follow each other until he parks. Tima calculates the amount he should pay for the women. A fight breaks out and she asks him to leave. Arman walks with Diana when girls ask him to help get their plane. He falls. They get closer and he feels attracted to her. Suddenly, he notices a young man disappearing. He remembers the spices Alina asked for. Arman is forced to use all the services at a beauty center. He spends time with Alina in a park. They are happy together. He goes into the bathroom and turns on the device. Arman walks with Diana for a while and some little girls come and ask him to help them bring their plane down from the tree. He falls from the tree in the end and Diana takes them to sit somewhere to rest a bit. They get closer to each other and he feels that someone is admiring him. Suddenly, he finds him and the young man disappears and suddenly appears and he knows that his time is up. He remembers the spices Alina asked for, apologizes, and hurries off. Olga arrives at the hotel with Tima, asking him to stay longer. Arman is forced to use all services at a beauty center because a woman insisted. He spends time with Alina in the park where he first met her. They are happy together, while Tima tries to escape Olga by turning on the fire alarm, forcing everyone to leave the hotel. Arman calls Alina, saying he got the spices, but she asks him to keep them and come later as they are out. He decides to rush back to Diana but encounters the same old lady who asks for a massage. Coincidentally, she is Diana's grandmother, and Diana finds him with her when she enters. From the appearance of the firemen, they had to evacuate the entire hotel quickly. Arman calls Alina, saying he got her spices. He happily rushes back to Diana, meeting the old lady again, who wants a massage. Coincidentally, she is Diana's grandmother, and Diana finds him with her. Tima tries to avoid Olga, but fails. Arman asks Diana to draw herself since photos are not allowed. She gets angry when he says they might not be accepted again, feeling he's strange. She naively asks him to jump off the roof. He stands to jump. She pleads him to stop. Tima tries to avoid Olga but fails. Arman asks Diana to draw herself since photos are not allowed. She gets angry when he says they might not be accepted again, feeling he's strange. She naively asks him to jump off the roof. He stands to jump. She tries to stop him. Diana stays completely silent because she doesn't understand the meaning of his words, and suddenly she sees a little girl. He advises her to avoid getting too close. Arman listens, improving his life. He tells Diana these are the rules. Diana calls him strange and leaves. Arman takes a picture of her. Arman tries to bring Diana, but Sophia refuses. They speed away to find Diana, kidnapping her grandmother. When Diana won't open the door, her grandmother pleads for her to give him a chance. Diana rejects him, saying she can't be with someone so strange. They return without her, finding Sophia still refusing to take them to their world. They refuse and speed up her car, kidnapping her grandmother to find Diana's house. Diana refuses to open the door, and her grandmother pleads with her to give him a chance because he loves her. Diana looks out, kicks him out, and tells him she could never be with someone as strange as him. In the end, they go back without her, and find Sophia standing firm, refusing to take them to their world. They plead, but she remains unaffected. After much begging, she agrees and lets them ride with her. They reach the real world and thank her. She responds strangely, saying she didn't do anything. He refuses to let them into his world because of what they did. They plead, but she stands firm. After much begging, she agrees. They reach the real world and thank her. She says she did nothing, then leaves. They help a girl with a broken car. Torn buys flowers for his wife, treating her differently. Arman searches for Diana. Torn's wife is surprised by his change. Arman finds another woman at Diana's house, leading to an argument. Torn presents Lena with her favorite dish. Tima meets Olga again. She walks and leaves him, and then Bello sees a girl whose car breaks down and asks them for help, and they actually help her. Torn goes and buys flowers for his wife and decides to treat her in a completely different way than before. Tima tricks the officer into returning his car to him, and at the same time, Arman starts to go around everywhere, looking for Dina, and she is a little surprised by Torn's treatment of her, and she feels that he has really changed a lot. He offers to go out with her to their old garden. Armen arrives at Diana's house and finds another woman living there with her husband. They both quarrel. At that time, Torn offers her favorite food and tickets for the Paris trip to restore their marriage. Tima meets Olga again, and they really get to know each other. He feels that she is a very nice girl. Arman arrives at a big art school and is shocked to find that Diana works there. They reconnect in the real world and fall in love again, living happily together in the real world. And that's where today's movie ends. If you liked today's film, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to get all the new updates. See you in the next movie. Peace.